What is up, college basketball fans, and welcome back to the College Basketball Report. We had a great set of games yesterday. I went 3-0 with my picks. Tennessee handled Arkansas pretty good, beat them by 24. Auburn won. Iowa State destroyed Baylor. Duke beat SMU. Alabama killed Oklahoma. I saw that one coming. Oklahoma didn't have a great strength of schedule. Mark Sears had a double-double in that one, dropping 22 with 10 assists. Kentucky beat Florida in an instant classic. What a thriller that game was. Kobe Brea popped off. He had so many threes. Lamont Butler, 19 points, 8 assists. He played great. Walter Clayton Jr. had 33, but couldn't get the deal done for Florida, handing them their first loss of the season. Kentucky pulled away with that one. Towards the end, Texas A&M, Zart Phelps with 18 points. Texas A&M, it was tied after the first half, but then they pulled away in the second half, outscoring them by 20. Houston beat BYU by large amount. Nebraska pulled off the upset over number 15 UCLA. I also called this one coming. Arizona beat Cincinnati by 5. Pulling off the upset. Mississippi State beat South Carolina by 35. Gonzaga won, and Ole Miss beat Georgia, having their second loss of the season. So, great day for college basketball. The best that we've had so far this season. So let's get into my top 3 games for tonight. My first one, I got Northwestern versus Purdue, 2 p.m. on Big Ten Network. The spread is Purdue by 6.5. These two teams have had interesting years. Northwestern has played great. They're 1-2 in Big Ten play though. Purdue has fallen off a little bit this year, but they're still ranked 2-1 in Big Ten. Let's go into the Wildcats here. They lost to Dayton. Not a bad loss. Dayton's great. Lost to Butler. That's a pretty bad loss. Butler is on 6 or 7 losing streak. They have not been playing good, Butler. They beat Illinois, though, by 4. That was a great win for them. Illinois just destroyed Oregon at Oregon. That was an impressive win for the Illini, especially with Kasparas, their guard, just popped off for them. They beat Georgia Tech by 11, great win. Lost to Penn State, not the end of the world there. Penn State's decent team. They also lost to Iowa by 1, not a bad loss. Have pretty tough schedule coming up with Purdue, Michigan State, and Maryland. But we're going to focus on this one right now. Nick Martinelli, 20 points a game. Jalen Leach also has been playing great for them. Northwestern's been playing some pretty good ball this year. Don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with Purdue in this one. Trey Kaufman-Renn averaging 18 a game. Purdue has slid a little bit over these past 5 games. Losses to Texas A&M and Auburn. It's not, those two are great losses for them. I mean, their losses aren't bad. Like, they lost to Marquette by 18, Texas A&M by 4, Penn State by 11, Auburn by 18. Auburn, Texas A&M, Marquette, those 3 aren't bad losses. They've had a tough non-conference schedule. They also, this one, Northwestern also lost to Penn State, but only by 4. It's at Purdue in this one. Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith, and Fletcher Loyer. Those 3 have been playing great. I sided with Minnesota the last time I was looking at Purdue. I like the Boilermakers in this one. Give me Purdue beating Northwestern. So, yeah, I'm going to like the Boilermakers in this one. I think Trey Kaufman-Renn and Braden Smith are going to have great games. Nick Martinelli is going to play great, but not good enough to get them this win. Braden Smith, Fletcher Loyer, those 2, amazing. Purdue just has a bunch of star power. I think they'll win this one. My second game of this one on ESPN Plus, I got Kansas and UCF. Spread is Kansas by 4.5. Kansas is 9-3, 0-1 in Big 12 play. UCF is 10-2, 1-0 in Big 12 play. Let's dive into Kansas here. Hunter Dickinson, still great as always, 15 points a game, shooting 53% from the field. Kansas has had an interesting year. They beat North Carolina, looked like a great win then. North Carolina is 8-6 now. Doesn't look as great of a win as it did back then. Only beating them by 3 points. Then they beat Michigan State, who's now ranked. Great win. Beat Duke. Great win. Duke's number 5. Losses to Creighton and Missouri, though. Creighton's a good team. Missouri's a great team. Then they lost to West Virginia, who's also a great team. So their 3 losses aren't terrible. I still think this Kansas team is good. They're not as good as they've been in the past. Man, Dejuan Harris, obviously for them, has been playing great. AJ Storr, obviously 7 points a game. He's also been playing great. KJ Adams, Zeke Mayo, those two have been playing great. I don't know how to feel about this Kansas team. Let's go into UCF here, though. UCF has been an interesting team this year. I just don't really know how they're going to fare against this Kansas team here. Kansas has the experience. UCF started off the year with a big-time win over the Aggies by 3, beating Texas A&M there. Great win. It was a home win for them. Great way to open up the season. Darius Johnson and Keyshawn Hall have been playing awesome ball. That's a great win for them to start the year. Losses to Wisconsin and LSU, those are their only 2 losses. That LSU loss was tragic. They lost in 3 overtimes. Could have easily won that game. Wisconsin, not a bad loss. Wisconsin's a decent team. They beat FAU, solid win. Beat Texas Tech, good win. But other than that, Texas Tech and Texas A&M are really their only 2 great wins this year. It's at UCF. Keyshawn Hall been playing great, averaging 16 points a game. Jordan Curry, averaging 15 a game. Darius Johnson's been playing great. Their entire team they got some good guards. Obviously, this center Mustafa, he's been playing great. UCF this year, 5th in Big 12. They're 1-0 Big 12 play. I don't know how to feel about this team. I don't know if they can beat Kansas. I feel like Kansas is going to be pretty mad in this one. Coming off that loss to West Virginia in that crazy game where West Virginia knocked them off on New Year's. Both these teams haven't played since New Year's Eve. So UCF is on a pretty good winning streak right now. Kansas has slid in these past couple weeks, and I think they're going to drop another game here. I like the UCF Knights pulling off the upset in this one. The spread's only 4.5. I think UCF and their team will pull off this win. I like the Knights in this one. I'm going to take them. Pulling off the upset over Kansas. That's my pick for that one. And now for these final 3 games right here. It was really tough picking between these, but I'm gonna have to go with Maryland and Oregon. Spread is Oregon by 3.5. Both these teams have had losses in their last games. Obviously, Baylor losing to Illinois by 30 points at home, not a great loss. Washington losing by 6 at Washington. Both these teams have had losses. Maryland's only losses this year, Marquette by 4, Purdue by 5, and Washington by 6. Washington's 10-4 right now, 1-2 in conference play. Washington's not bad. I thought Maryland would win this game. They couldn't pull it out though. This Maryland team has played great this year. Derek Queen averaging 16 points a game. Jacoby Giuseppe, 4.3 assists a game. Those two have been playing great ball. Their losses aren't terrible. Washington's a decent loss. Let's move on to Oregon here, though. The Ducks in this one, Nate Biddle averaging 13 a game. TJ Bamba has been playing great. Mookie Cook, also great. I don't know how to feel about this Oregon team. They've had some great wins, but some interesting losses. Started off the year with light schedule, but then they went into the Players Era tournament, knocked off Texas A&M with a 10-point win. Great comeback win for them. San Diego State beat them by 10. Then beat Alabama, who just destroyed Oklahoma. So that's a pretty good win for them by 2. Beat USC. Only lost to UCLA by 2 points. off a game-winning three with like 2 seconds left. Not a terrible loss there. UCLA is great. They did just lose to Nebraska. Nebraska's a great team. UCLA is still great. And then their only other loss is to Illinois by 32 points at home. And Illinois has been playing great, but you can't lose a game by 32 points in your own home stadium, especially when you're on the West Coast and the other team is thousands of miles away. Man, it's a tough game to pick between these two teams. Nate Biddle been playing great. Man, it's a tough game. Oregon, I was high on them heading into this. I don't know how they're gonna fare against Maryland. I don't know who I should pick in this game. I'm going to side with Oregon here. I like Maryland. I think they're a great team, but Oregon just had better wins this year. Oregon has proven that they can play up to great potential. Maryland has had some good wins, but not as many as Oregon. And I know that loss looks bad on their schedule, but Oregon has been playing great other than that. Their only losses to UCLA. Their losses are to two ranked teams. Not bad. Maryland just lost to an unranked Washington, who's 10-4 now, and is 1-2 in Big Ten play. So I'm going to have to side with the Ducks on this one, beating the Terrapins. I think Maryland will stay in this game, but give me the Ducks in this one. I think they will win. Those are my top 3 games for today. Other than that, decent day for college basketball. Yesterday was awesome, fun to watch. I watched it all day. UConn, I think, will beat Providence. I have Purdue beating Northwestern, UCF upsetting Kansas dropping 2 games to unranked teams back-to-back, Oregon beating Maryland, and a primetime game. That will be awesome. Illinois and Washington also will be a great game. I think Illinois will beat Washington in this one. Illinois is playing great right now. Washington did just beat Maryland, but I'm going to have to go with Illinois. I think they're fired up after beating Oregon. And I'm going to have Memphis beating North Texas. One thing before I go for today's episode, talk about Memphis and Penny Hardaway. Hunter and PJ Haggerty have been playing great with each other. Memphis versus FAU, this was their closest games scheduled, according to ESPN Bet, and they beat FAU by a whopping 28 points. I think they're gonna run through their conference, the AAC. This is not gonna be close. I got Memphis coming out in this conference. I like their team this year. So I'm gonna like Memphis beating North Texas. So my top 3 games again: Purdue beating Northwestern, UCF upsetting Kansas, and Oregon beating Maryland. I like the home teams in this one. I'm gonna have to side with those 3. And then also I just went through the other games for today. But with that, those are my top 3 games for today. And I hope you guys enjoy your hoops. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. See you guys.